New at 7, San Francisco is already making plans to require children aged 5 to 11 to have proof of a COVID vaccine to enter many public places. The Chronicle reports children will need to show proof of vaccination at restaurants, gyms, and at large events like Warriors games. Health officials say they will not enforce the mandate until enough time has passed for young children to get their shots. People over the age of 12 have been required to show proof of vaccination since August.
Okay, so let's talk more now about the vaccine rollout for this younger group of children with UCSF Professor of Surgery and ICU Doctor, Dr. Andre Campbell. Doctor, always a pleasure to see you. As we have been reporting, there are still a significant number of parents out there who are a little reluctant to get the vaccines for this younger age group. What do those parents need to know?
Well, first thing, it's great to see you, Alex and Heather, and thank you for having me on this evening. The first thing I'll say is that the FDA really spent a lot of time listening to data from the companies. There's a whole process. It's a little bit like making sausage. It's not pretty, but it's thorough, it's complete. Then this data is then presented to the CDC, and then the CDC then rolls out the guidelines. So the first thing I'll say is that these vaccines are absolutely safe. They've changed the dose for children from the regular adult dose to about a third of the dose that we get as adults. And there has not, in the initial studies, they did several thousand inoculations, and they looked at the data. There was really no major complications. So first thing, it's safe. It's a way back to normal. And this allows 28 million children to get vaccinated, which is something that is really fantastic. So I'm just really excited today that this data is out, that we're giving the vaccines to children, and we're going to change the nature of this pandemic, which is what we need to have done.
Well, there seems to be, as Heather alluded to, a fair number of parents who have sort of this wait and see approach. A lot of them want to sort of wait and see how the rollout goes for younger children before they get their kids the shot. Would you discourage that? And is there a risk in waiting?
So the risk of waiting is that you can get the infection itself. And we know that there's long COVID. Long COVID is symptoms that happen afterwards. It's much better to get the vaccine, protect your child against this infection. So we know that, we're really worried that there could be a reservoir among children, but as more and more children get vaccinated, it really allows us to go back to some sort of normalcy. The sleepovers we talk about, being together with your friends on the holidays. So, for example, if you want to have a nice Thanksgiving where you have multiple generations of family members there, you get your kids vaccinated so that you can then bring them into the fold, and you won't have to even worry about grandma, grandpa, the parents getting sick, because we have incidents with the Delta variant being very, very vicious and infecting multiple generations of families. So I would urge them to get the vaccine as early as it's possibly offered. Don't wait. There's nothing to be afraid of. These vaccines are safe, and they will make sure your child is safe.
We've also heard, Doctor, from a few of your colleagues that what they'd really like to see is also a plan to reduce the mask mandates, especially for young children. I'm talking about in classrooms and other group settings for younger kids, and that might encourage parents to get their children vaccinated if they sort of see that light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, that is controversial too, because what we need to do is get a critical mass of children inoculated. Once you get the critical mass, let's say, we're always talking about this 80% number, where we can make sure we get to the point where enough people are inoculated. And we're actually at that 80% number in San Francisco, but we're still having cases. There are cases, the number of cases per 100,000 on average of 7 days in San Francisco is about 5.6. But if you're not inoculated, it's closer to 10. If you are inoculated, it's low. It's way down at about 3 or 4 per 100,000. So it is something that we really need to work on. So the more kids get inoculated, the more that we can then start talking about lifting these mask mandates. Because if you have 5 kids inoculated and then another 5 are not, then it becomes a difficult situation where bringing down the mask means that, okay, well, maybe they may get infected, and you don't want to be there. You want to make sure that these kids are inoculated safely and we can go back to normal, because this is all about trying to get back to normal.
All right. Yeah, the first day of the vaccine rollout here for younger children. Appreciate you coming on tonight to talk about it. Dr. Andre Campbell from UCSF. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. And you can, of course, stay up to date on the latest COVID news in your neighborhood and across California. Just download the free KTVU News app for your phones from the phone's app store, and you can opt in to receive those special alerts.